live special interview with Heathrow CEO.
An airline question, but just to understand, they like
Statement.
people who were due to fly that evening, or people who've been delayed.
Massive destruction at Heathrow Airport, UK 25. Thumbs up, right side screen. Thumbs down on the right. It's the 21st of March, Friday afternoon, guys, 2025.
To fly, but people who this evening were due to fly probably won't be delayed too much. Is that right?
We talk about very few aircraft tonight. So I don't think that is a major issue. That is a few flights to make sure that we have operations in place for tomorrow morning.
For tomorrow, again, what's the picture going to be, and who can expect to be flying?
Tomorrow morning, we expect to be back in full operation, so 100% operation as a normal day.
So people who are booked for tomorrow morning can expect to fly normally, and what should they do?
They should come to the airport as they normally would. There's no reason to come earlier. They should be coming to the airport as they were planning to do otherwise.
How would you sum up what's happened today, just in terms of the operation of this airport?
First of all, what I'd like to do is to apologize to the many people who have had their travel affected during the day today. We are very sorry about all the inconvenience. I would like to thank the many people who have been part of bringing the airport back into operation. That is fire services, authorities, our airlines.
That's an embarrassment, mate. I'm sorry, but you should have backup generators. There's plan B, plan C, plan D.
Midnight last night was obviously that we lost
no excuses. Sorry.
Of our power supply, and I like to stress that this has been an incident.
And you want to expand the airport?
It's not a small fire.
You're mad.
We have lost power
and stupid.
That of a mid-sized city, and our backup systems have been working as they should.
Another question: why couldn't you take the power from London City?
I'll come back to that.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
I wanted to ask. I can't remember
leaving in the dark.
In this airport.
What's more important?
A day like this. How would you put what's happened today in context?
This is unprecedented. It's never happened before, and that's why I'm saying it has been a major incident.
No,
of course,
no excuses. I don't think at all.
But all our procedures.
No excuses.
The way they should. I hope people.
No buts. No ifs. No excuses.
Severe safety concerns. That's why we do it, and that's what has happened today. We've been working tirelessly to get the operation back into.
The funds up the right side of the screen, please.
Running, and that's what's now happening.
So let's look at the power failure. What were you told, and when were you told what had happened?
Very early during the night, obviously, as soon as we realized the magnitude of this, and then all our procedures went into force, and we've been working ever since. First to reallocate our power supply, that means closing down all our systems and then restarting all these systems in a safe way, which takes a long time.
So when did you decide to close the airport? How difficult a decision was that?
That was a very difficult decision, and we took that quite early when we could see that we could not safely operate the airport, and that is our concern number one, is the safety of our passengers and our colleagues. When we realized that that is not possible with that major power loss that we've had, we have to close the airport.
Because I suppose that's the key question, isn't it? A single power failure has closed down a major airport on which this country's economy depends, and you knew straight away you had to do it. That does suggest that this is a bit of a weak point.
Well, you can say that, but of course, contingencies of certain sizes, we cannot guard ourselves against 100%. And this is one of them. This has been a major incident. I mean, short of anybody getting hurt, this is as big as it gets for our airport. And we are actually coming back quite fast, I would say, when you consider the amount of systems that we have to shut down, then bring back up and make sure that they're safe. It's fueling systems, it's bridges, it's escalators, elevators. All of these systems have to be brought back up, tested to make sure they're safe and put into operation.
And lots of people are asking another question, which is about backup supplies.
Yeah.
Backup supplies were there, and why were they not capable of keeping the airport open?
Yeah.
Backup supplies. We have 3 of these substations. Each of them has a backup transformer. The backup transformer in this case also went, and then we have to restructure the supply. So we're not out of power, but we have to restructure our power supply. To do that, we have to close down systems. That is safe.
Oh, that's flimsy.
When we do that, and we did that during the night.
Not great.
Power back.
Backup supply should be set from the other bit, which the fire is.
Restart the airport. That is a major.
Very dumb, isn't it?
Thousands of systems
That is smart.
that have to be restarted and tested before we can.
Not smart thinking. You need a think tank, mate. That's what you need. You need a think tank.
What do you mean by restructure?
No thought there, no thinking.
Switching the supply to different places.
Yes, when you have 3.
Top on the right side screen.
We have.
All you people that are stuck everywhere globally are seeing this right now. Shame on this man, shame on this airline company, or shame on the airport, shame on this government, Egmenaban, and all the rest of the politicians in the House of Parliament. They must have known this was going to happen at some point. Heathrow expansion? No, thumbs down on Heathrow expansion. We don't want that. This just proves how flimsy airports are in the UK. No. This is a proof of how stupid it is. We brought up to the special Heathrow expansion employment.
Restructuring of the power supply, and
this is proof it's not a good idea.
Yes, we can run on the two.
So what lessons are you learning from this, and what changes will you make?
That is something we'll look back on when we are through.
Like the aerodromes at Gatwick Airport years ago, before COVID. Yeah, 2018, I think that was.
Our systems have worked the way they should. Our crisis management has worked the way it should, but this just takes time when we have an incident of this major severity.
And this is very good, very useful detail. I just want to understand. So when you say you presumably lost some of the power, so not enough to keep the airport open, but there was some power.
We lost a major part of our power. 1 out of 3 substations. 2 substations can run the airport, but we need to re-engineer the structure of the power supply for all the terminals, and that's what we were doing during the day. And then we have to restart all the systems, and that's what we've done, and we now see operation.
The Prime Minister has
Someone's going to get
he'll be asking
get blamed for it.
About why this has happened and what can be done to prevent it. What will your answers be?
We will come back to that when we have a look back at this. But as I said, our procedures...
The future references, don't fly over Heathrow Airport. A, B, don't let them expand it, let alone Gatwick. This is proof we're not built to have big airports. There's not enough electricity supply.
It's not good enough that they have been let down again, and he used the word, I think, again, by this airport. What would you say to airlines, your customers?
What I'm saying to the customers, of course, is that we are sorry for the incident. It was caused by what is outside factors. I think the statements are made without much detail of what's actually happening and the understanding of the severity of this incident.
And who, in the end, it's a complicated business, will pay for this?
Well, there are procedures in place for that, who pays for that, and those procedures will be followed, and that is airlines for passengers and so forth.
But as a business, do you anticipate this being a major liability for you?
Big time.
That's not how the structure works, and we don't have liabilities in place for incidents like this.
Really?
What a fascinating
Stupid.
interview there, the CEO of Heathrow.
There you go,
Let me
guys.
just sum up what he said, and whilst I'm doing that, I'll take you to the live pictures of Heathrow because we're waiting to see the first movement of planes either going
Put a thumbs up the right side of the screen to watch these videos. Smile, be happy if you can be happy.